Okay, so we start off and there's an English police officer just doing his patrols. Nice to see back in the 1960s that crime wasn't an issue in Britain. And then we head inside a junkyard. And, oh look, there's a police box in there. Don't know what one of those is? Yeah, don't worry, most people nowadays don't know what they are. And totally not suspicious that it's just in the middle of a junkyard. Nothing suspicious about that at all, other than the fact that it's humming. I guess that's what they did, yeah? But forget about that, because we're going to school. This is Coal Hill School, which seems to be populated by teachers and adults pretending to be students. This is Barbara, history teacher at Coal Hill School and professional screamer. And this guy here, this is Ian, the science teacher of Coal Hill School. Yep, right off the bat, a history teacher and a science teacher. I got a feeling that these two are going to be teaching me things I don't want to learn. I left school. I don't need to know this shit. Don't be trying to teach me shit that I probably already know and don't, and if I don't know it, I don't want to know it. See, Barbara's gone in there to go and talk to Ian because Barbara's got a bitch to Ian about a student she has named Susan Foreman. You see, back in the 60s, teachers didn't have to worry about getting stabbed by their students. They just had to be afraid if their students were going to kidnap them in a police box and take them through time and space. But Barbara's not alone because Ian's having trouble with her as well. Seems that Susan's a bit of a know-it-all in history and in science. So teaching her's a little bit pointless, so they're going to have to kill her. Barbara suggested to Susan that she should specialise in history, and then Susan was all like, yeah, fuck that, my grandfather doesn't like strangers. And then suddenly Susan's homework's been getting terrible, and then they realise something's up. Barbara's had enough of Susan's excuses, ranging from what I hope being the dog ate it to my grandfather took me back in time to witness said event you wanted me to write a report about, and history left out the part where George Washington fucking killed a bear with his bare hands during the middle of his speech. So Barbara had a plan to go see Susan's grandfather and have a little chat about this, so she got the address from the school secretary, went there, and it's the same junkyard from the beginning of the episode. So Ian and Barbara decide to follow Susan home to see where she lives. My best guess is so that they can make fun of her for living in a junkyard. But before that, they're going to go and see Susan. And there she is, listening to some music on a radio while staring blankly into space. Apparently, Susan was portrayed by a Jerry Anderson puppet for this scene. So the teachers walk in and Barbara hands Susan this huge book on the French Revolution. And Susan's all like, yeah, thanks for that. I'll bring this huge ass book back tomorrow because I have no social life, what with living in a police box with my grandfather. Ian then offers Susan a ride home, but she declines, saying that she likes to walk home in the dark, where her chances of probably being sexually assaulted are up like 75%. When the two teachers leave, Susan opens the book and gives it a read, proclaiming what she's reading isn't right. She's probably all like, hey, this isn't right, there's no mention of the French fighting each other with baguettes. So Barbara and Ian arrive outside of the junkyard and begin talking about times Susan's made a total arse of herself in class. And please tell me that they joined in with the other students laughing at Susan and made her life a living hell at Coal Hill School. Apparently, Susan doesn't know shit like back in 1963, the UK wasn't on the decimal system yet for its currency, to Ian setting a problem for the class with A, B and C as the three dimensions, and Susan freaking out because she can't answer it without including D and E, time and space. But then Susan arrives and she walks in the junkyard. So Barbara's all like, oh, maybe we should go in there. I hate the idea of her being alone in there. And Ian's like, yeah, if she is alone in there, she's 15. She could be meeting a boy. If you're meeting a boy in a junkyard, you're a fucking skank. So they go inside and they're looking around for Susan. And then Barbara's all like, hey Ian, look at this. It's a police box. So they go up to it. And Ian's like, what the fuck's it doing in the middle of a junkyard? Puts his hand on it. He's like, holy shit, did you feel that? Barbara puts her hand on it and she's like, oh Ian, it's a faint vibration. I wonder how many settings it has. And then Ian's like, it's alive. Sure mate, whatever you say. It's at this point Barbara's like, yeah, you know what, fuck this, let's go find a police officer. And just as they're about to leave, they can hear coughing. So they go and hide, and in walks this old dude. He's probably coughing because he just burnt down an orphanage or something, my best guess is. So he goes up to the police box, and then Susan's all like, oh, there you are, grandfather. And Miss Obvious was all like, fuck me, that was Susan's voice. And Ian's like, shut the fuck up. But too late, the old man's seen them. So Ian gets out from hiding. The old man's like, who the fuck are you and what are you doing here? So they're like, yeah, we're looking for a girl. And he's all like, that's a little bit creepy, isn't it? So the old man's like, why were you spying on her? And they're like, yeah, well, we heard a young girl call out to you. And he's like, no, you fucking didn't. So the old man goes to Ian. He's like, look, you think somebody could be hiding in there? I don't kidnap kids or anything. I'm not like that, honest. And so Ian's like, well, why don't you open it and let's have a look in? The old man ain't gonna do that. And Barbara's all like, oh, please help us. You know, we're really worried. And he's like, whatever, piss off. Get out of here. So Ian's just like, look, just open it up. And the old man's like, ain't gonna happen, mate. And then Ian's like, fine, we'll get a police officer. And the old man's like, you know what? Yeah, I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Go and get a police officer. So Ian and Barbara are about to go and get this police officer. But then Susan's like, oh, what are you doing out there, grandfather? They freak out. They're heading towards the police box. The old man's trying to stop them. And then Barbara just forces her way inside. And fucking 55 years, spoiler alert, it's bigger on the inside, alright? So the old man says, close the door, Susan. Goes up to her and he's like, yeah, you know these two people, don't you? And she's like, they're two of my school teachers. And he's just like, fuck me, I knew something like this would happen if we stayed in one place too long. I mean, Barbara seems pretty unfazed by this. She's like, oh, is this where you live, Susan? While Ian's just like, what the fuck, man? And then Barbara puts two and two together and she's like, oh, this must be your grandfather, Susan. Yeah, no fucking shit, lady. Get it together, man. And Ian still don't fucking believe it. And the old man's like, yeah, don't worry about it. You wouldn't understand it anyway. And then Ian's like, no, man, but I gotta understand. I need to. So to make Ian understand, he's like, right, well, you can't fit a huge building inside your little sitting room, can you? And Ian's like, no. And the old man's like, yeah, but you got television, haven't you? Yeah. So by showing a big fucking building on your television set, you can do what seemed impossible, couldn't you? And Ian's like, yeah, but no, you don't fucking get it. But fuck, man, this is all the evidence we need to know that the old man is high as fuck on drugs. And whatever he's taking, I want some. And then the old man makes it very clear that Ian and Barbara, they ain't going anywhere. Because if he lets them go, they're going to talk about the ship. Ship? What ship? The fucking box. It's a ship, alright? Come on. And Susan's like, yeah, the TARDIS can go anywhere. And they're just like, well, TARDIS? What the fuck's a TARDIS? And she's like, oh, I made up the name TARDIS from the initials. Time and relative dimensions in space. Doesn't matter, because Ian and Barbara don't believe him. And then the old man drops a huge bombshell. He's like, yeah, guess what? Surprise, we're not even from this planet. So Susan starts begging with her grandfather to let him go. And he's like, yeah, fat chance of that happening. So Barbara's all like, look, Susan, just admit it, you and your grandfather, you're playing a game. And she's like, yeah, no, we ain't. You see, I was born in another time in another world. So the teachers have enough of this shit, and they try to leave. They ain't going anywhere. And the old man's laughing at their feeble attempts of escape. So Ian's all like, open that fucking door. And the old man's like, nah. And he's like, open the door. He's like, nah. He's like, open it. Not gonna happen. So Ian's like, right, fuck it. I'm gonna go over to this control unit and I'm gonna open the door. And the old man's like, yeah, all right, I can't stop you. Hits a switch. And then Susan's like, no, don't touch it. It's alive. And Ian gets an electrical shock. Man, this old man is the best. So Susan begs again. And the old man's like, well, if I let him go, we've got to go too. And Susan's like, but I want to stay. And she's like, look, I'd rather leave the TARDIS in you. And the old man's like, all right, I'll go open the doors. Doesn't open the doors. He activates the console and then bang, they're gone. They're not in London anymore. But then where has the TARDIS landed? It seems to have landed in a desert. And this asshole just stumbles across the TARDIS. So we cut to somewhere else, and it's clear these guys are having the time of their lives. Great party, while this dickhead is rubbing his bone. Rubbing his bone. And this old lady's like, look, Tsar, hurry up and make some fire already, alright? I'm cold. And Tsar's like, damn it, my father made fire, and I can't. I'm an embarrassment. He always told me I was a mistake. So Tsar goes up to the old lady, he's like, look, show me how to make fire. And she's like, yeah, I don't know how, I'm a woman, you know, fuck it. And Tsar's bit on the sides like, yeah, the old men are talking, that maybe we should make the stranger Cal our leader. And Tsar gets a little bit butthurt about that. And Tsar keeps rubbing his bone, and then I think he ejaculates. So we cut back inside of the TARDIS, and Ian and Barbara are like, where are we? And the doctor's like, here, look at the TV, that'll tell you it's a nature program, it looks shit. Ian still doesn't believe it though. So Ian's like, look, just open the door, Dr. Foreman. And the old man's like, Doctor who? What are you talking about? So the doctor's like, get ready to shit a brick. He opens the door, they go outside, and Ian's mind is blown. And the doctor's like, why the fuck is it still a police box? You want a reason? Budget. BBC were too cheap to decide to have it change every story, so they just kept it as a police box. So the doctor wanders off, completely unaware that creepy caveman dude is watching him. So the doctor whips out his crack pipe. He's like, oh yeah, I'm going to get high as a kite. To which point the caveman dude jumps him and probably teabagged him. The doctor screams and the others go looking for him, but they're too late. So Susan in a panic goes to look for the doctor while the teachers are just like, fucking, just let her do whatever. Responsible adults! So we cut back to the party and it's getting wild because they finally busted out the Kentucky Fried Tiger. Minus the Kentucky and the Fried. And some of the others are talking to Zara about how fucking amazing Cal is, and Zara's getting butthurt. And then Cal arrives and he's like, surprise motherfuckers, I've brought you all an old man. So Cal and Zara end up having a bit of a dick measuring contest. And the reason why Cal brought the doctor is because he saw fire come from his fingers. And then Cal says, yeah, I fought the old man, yeah, he was scared. Dude, you were beating up an old man, what the fuck's wrong with you? So Zara and Cal continue to argue, and then the doctor's like, boys, settle the fuck down. I'll make all the fire you want. But then the doctor realises, oh shit, I dropped my matches. So he's like, you take me back to my ship and I'll make all the fire you want. They don't believe in him. They don't believe him. So Cal threatens the doctor. He's like, look, you make fire or I'm going to kill you now. But then here comes Susan to save the day. That's right, girl. You jump on Cal and fuck him up. Ian and Barbara jump in to help, but they're easily overwhelmed by the cavemen. I'm guessing maybe they were a little bit worried that the thin loincloths were so thin that they'd probably be rubbing up against the caveman's junk. They're about to kill Ian, but the doctor's like, look, you kill him and there will be no fire. Stalemate. So Zara decides to put the 4 travellers into the Cave of Skulls. And the crazy old bitch is like, fucking fire, man, it's going to be the death of all of us. And she's all like, you better fucking kill those 4 strangers, man. And Zara's like, nah, I'll decide when we kill them. So things aren't looking too good for our 4 travellers. And you want to know why they call it the Cave of Skulls? 'Cause it's full of skulls. So it seems like all the cavemen have partied too hard and they've crashed out. All that is, except the old lady. And she's up to something because she goes over to Zara while he's sleeping and steals his knife. If you want to call that a knife. So back inside the Cave of Skulls, Ian's trying to cut free of the bindings, but everything he's using keeps crumbling. And the doctor starts bitching. He's all like, it doesn't matter even if we get free from the bindings because we won't be able to move that huge ass stone. And Ian's like, but there's got to be air coming in here. And Barbara's like, I feel it on my face. And the doctor's like, oh, it doesn't fucking matter. And Ian's like, just stop your bitching, old man, and do something to fucking help us. So the doctor's like, well, try using the fucking bones then, genius. And then Susan's like, oh, well done, grandfather. So back with the old lady, she's being all super sneaky ninja-y, but Zara's bit on the side sees that she's up to something. So as the old lady sneaks off, Zara's bit on the side wakes Zara up and she's like pointing. So back inside the Cave of Skulls, they're trying to cut Ian free, and then Susan looks away and she screams. And the old lady comes through a super secret passageway. And she's all like, you ain't going to be making fire. So Zara and his missus are talking. And he's like, why the fuck did you wake me up? And she's like, I saw the old lady take your knife. And he responds with, well, why the fuck didn't you stop her? She's old, you could have slapped her about a bit. And then they're like, why the fuck would she take your knife? And then she realises, she's gonna go kill the strangers. And Zara's like, I've got to stop that old bitch from killing them. But he's like, but the stone's still there. So they lean against the stone and they're like, hang about, the old lady's talking to them. And back inside the cave, the old lady's like, look, all right, I'll make you a deal. I'll set you free if you don't make fire. And the doctor's like, all right, you got a deal. So Zara and his missus are trying to push the stone. So the old lady cuts them all free and they're like, let's get the fuck out of here. And the old lady's trying to get away, but then Zara comes in and he's like, you ain't going anywhere, missus. And she tries to stop Zara from going after him and he pushes her down and I think she's dead. Damn, old lady, you were frail. And then Zara's all like, oh fuck, they're gone into the night and the beasts are going to kill him and I don't want to die. And his missus is all like, look, man the fuck up. Go get them back because they'll make fire and you'll be leader. And he's like, fuck yeah, I'll be leader. So the TARDIS crew is trying to make their way back to the TARDIS and then all of a sudden Barbara gasps and she's like, I saw the bushes move. Jesus, woman, it's just a bush. Calm down. So Ian comes up with a plan. The Doctor and Susan are going to go up front because Susan seems to remember the way better than any of the rest. Barbara and Ian will take the back. And the Doctor gets all pissy. He's like, oh, so you've elected yourself as leader. And Ian's like, look, just shut up, old man. Shut it, all right? Shut it. But Zara and his missus are right on their trail. So after a quick breather, the TARDIS travellers get back up and then Barbara just trips over. God damn it, woman. Oh, and she screams because there's a dead boar there. And Zara and his missus hear Barbara scream. So the TARDIS crew go into hiding and Ian's like, keep down and don't make a sound. You know, no sound at all, guys. Seriously. I mean, doesn't even say it in a whisper. And there's a lot of snarling and growling, so Zara goes and investigates and he's looking around and oh shit, he gets attacked by the cameraman. Ian sees this as the perfect chance to get away and Barbara's like, no, we've got to help him. God damn it. God damn it, Barbara. Damn, man, that cameraman fucked Zara up something bad. So the travellers go up to Zara and they go to his missus, look, we want to help him, all right? Just trust us. We're friends. We want to help him. And the doctor's like, hang about, we were trying to get away from these guys a minute ago and now we're helping them? So they decide they're going to make a stretcher and they're going to take Tsar back to the tribe. And we cut back to the Cave of Skulls and, the old lady isn't dead at all. She was just having a nap. And then Cal comes in and he starts interrogating the old woman. And eventually he's like, you bitch, you helped him escape. And then he pulls out his knife. So back with the travellers, Tsar's missus is all like, look, I don't get it. You're not trying to kill him. And Barbara goes, look, all right, I'm going to make you a deal, right? We're going to make him well again, yeah? And we'll teach you how to make fire if you take us back to our cave. And Tsar's like, just do it. I guess they're good people. So as they continue to make the stretcher, Ian's like, oi, doctor, give us a hand. And Susan says, he's just having a temper tantrum. He always does this when he doesn't get his way. So he decides to go and help them, and then he finds Tsar's knife. And he picks it up, and then Ian's like, what the fuck do you think you're doing? And the doctor's like, chill, man, I was just going to get him to draw us a map leading back to the ship, honest. I wasn't going to kill him. So they put Tsar onto the stretcher, and they're going to head back to the TARDIS. And back with the tribe, Cal's woken everybody up, and he's rallying them all up. He's like, Tsar and her have gone after him, and rabble, rabble, rabble. And Cal takes him into the Cave of Skulls, and he shows him the old lady. And he's all like, fucking Tsar killed her, man. I swear to God, it was Tsar. He set the strangers free and he killed the old lady. Totally legit. And then Cal's all like, you know what? Fuck Tsar. I'm leader now. And the rest of them are all like, yeah, Cal's leader, yeah, woo. So the TARDIS crew have finally made it back to the ship and they're like, yes, we're out of here. But then, surprise, motherfuckers. It's a trap. So their escape's been rumbled. And the TARDIS crew are taken back to the encampment. So Cal starts bigging himself up. He's like, I'm the fucking best, man. I stopped these guys from getting away. And he goes on with, yeah, Tsar and his missus, he cut the strangers free. And she's trying to tell him, no, it was the old lady that did that. And Cal's all like, yeah, well, the old woman's dead now, 'cause Tsar killed her. And in an attempt to pin the blame on Tsar, Cal takes Tsar's knife. He's like, here's the weapon he did it with. But the doctor's like, hey, there's no blood on this knife. And Cal's all, oh shit, he's on to me. It's a bad knife. It doesn't show the things it did. And the doctor goes full troll mode. He's like, yeah, well, this is an awesome knife. It's better than yours. I've never seen such a fine knife. So Cal's all, I'm going to show you, motherfucker. Pulls out his knife. He's like, yeah, this is my knife and it's the best knife. And then the doctor's like, this knife's got blood on it. Cal, you just got trolled. So Cal admits, he's like, yeah, you know what? I killed the old bitch and I'd do it again too. But the doctor's not done just yet. No. He actually turns the entire tribe against Cal. So before they were all like, fuck yeah, Cal's the best, yeah, woo. And they're like, eat shit, Cal, you fucking suck. And they start throwing rocks at him, being like, get out of the tribe, you suck, we don't want you here anymore. Boo, boo Cal, boo. And Ian parts with some fine wisdom saying, remember, Cal's not stronger than the whole tribe. And Tsar declares that Cal is no longer one of the tribe. And to show his thanks for them saving his life, Tsar sends the TARDIS crew back into the Cave of Skulls and posts guards at the super secret entrance that the old lady knew about. And it turns out that Cal's still lurking around. So Tsar's asking his missus what exactly happened after he fought the tiger. And she's all like, oh man, you were stronger than the beast, but oh man, you were fucked afterwards. But those guys, they came and they said their name was Friend. And then Tsar tells her that Friend, aka Ian, said that Cal is not stronger than the whole tribe. And he's pretty much clocking on. Oh man, why do I have to do all the work? Why do I go out and get all the meat and shit? Yeah, the whole tribe should be doing it. But he realises if they don't know how to make fire, they're fucked. And he's like, if they ain't going to show me, I'm going to have to kill them. But the TARDIS crew have got a plan. They're going old school and they're going to make some fire with some leaves and dead grass and a couple of sticks. So the guard's outside the super secret entrance and he's probably like, oh man, I need to take a shit real bad. And then Tsar turns up and he's like, sup man, I'm going to have a talk with these guys. So the guard lets Tsar in, but he doesn't know that Cal's watching them. So Tsar goes in and he's like, hey, what are you guys doing? And the doctor's like, we're making fire. Duh. So Tsar's like, sup, you're the one called Friend, right? I'm Tsar. You leader of your tribe? And Ian's like, nah man, nah. It's him looking over to the doctor. So Tsar lays it down for him. He's like, look, the tribe, they think you're from God, and if we kill you, we're going to get fire again. But I think you're from over the mountains, so you better show me how to make fire, because I can't stop those dudes from killing you. So the doctor's like, look, chill your beans, we're showing you how to make fire. And Ian's like, yeah, well, the whole tribe should be watching. Tsar gets butthurt, he's like, yeah, well, the whole tribe can't be leader. And Ian's like, yeah, well, in our tribe, the fire maker is the least important person. And then it works. The grass and the leaves catch fire. So the tribe are getting really panicky. They're like, oh man, Zar's fucking setting them free. And Zar's missus is like, chill your fucking beans, guys. He's talking to them, all right? Back outside with the guard, he's pacing around like he desperately needs a shit now. And Cal sneaks up behind him and puts him in a headlock and uses the smell my fingers maneuver, knocking him out. So Cal goes into the Cave of Skulls and he's like, I'ma fuck you up, Zar. And Zar's like, nah, I'ma fuck you up, Cal. And we basically just get a fight between two grown men in their underpants. But I guess it's alright for the TARDIS crew. They got front row seats for this, man. I mean, let's be honest here. It is just two grown men throwing each other around in their pants. But Zar gets the upper hand and he defeats Cal and he finishes him off by crushing his head with a rock. Fatality. Back with the tribe, shit's getting serious. And the old man's like, right, that's it. Bring them all out of the Cave of Skulls, Zar as well. We're gonna kill them. So Ian gives Zar a torch and he's like, look, show this to the tribe because I don't want to die, man. So Zar pimps out of the Cave of Skulls and he's like, yeah, that's right. I've got fire. And he's like, yeah, and I killed Cal as well. I give you fire. I'm leader. And they're all like, yeah, Zar's leader, yeah, woo. And Zar's all like, man, we're going to have the fucking best party ever. I'm going to go out, I'm going to go get some meat, I'm going to cook the meat, and it'll be great. Just make sure the other guys in the Cave of Skulls are there when I return, alright? So the TARDIS crew have clocked on that, shit, they ain't going to let us go. Zar's missus comes in, she's like, here's some food and shit. And they're like, can we go outside? And she's like, no. Then she goes and checks Cal's dead body, and I don't know, but I think he's wearing a thong there. Why has a caveman got a thong on? I mean, seriously, he's wearing a thong. Look at it. And Susan's like, come on, let us go. We gave you fire. And Zar's missus like, yeah, well, we got fire now, so suck it. And Ian's like, yeah, I done goofed. I gave him fire. But Barbara does point out, yeah, but if you didn't give him fire, we'd be dead now. So, you know, it's a fair trade. So it's later on and Zar turns up. And he basically says to him, look, I'm not going to let you go. Your tribe and my tribe, we're going to join together. It's going to be awesome. Trust me. And they're just like, yeah, it sounds like a load of fun. So the doctor says, look, we got to fucking scare these motherfuckers somehow. And Susan gets an amazing idea. She gets a torch and she gets a skull and she puts the skull on top of the torch. And she's like, it looks like it's alive. Okay, that part was stupid, but this plan's got potential. So they make 4 of these bad boys, and Ian's like, right, we'll wait for the signal. And Zar's missus comes in, and she sees it, and she starts freaking out. All the tribe come in to see these burning skulls. And as the tribe's spazzing out, Ian gives them the signal, and they just pimp out of the main entrance. So they're out in the forest, and they're running like hell. And then the tribe realise they've been had when one of the skulls tips over. And Zar's like, motherfuckers tricked us with fire and bones, man. But can you blame them? Because these dudes think fire's amazing. And Zar's missus is like, oh shit, it's night. The dark's gonna hide them. And Zar's like, yeah, well, with fire, it's day. Yeah, if you say so, mate. So the tribe are getting some torches together and it's a race back to the TARDIS. The TARDIS crew are running as fast as they can, but they've got the tribe right behind them. But they manage to get to the TARDIS. So they get inside, the doctor goes up to the console, he activates the controls, and the TARDIS dematerializes as the tribe throw their spears. And Zar looks on like, fuck, I wish I was paying attention when they showed me how to make fire. So the TARDIS is about to land, and Ian and Barbara think the doctor's taking them back to London 1963. No, he isn't, because he's like, it don't work properly. And more to the point, he doesn't know how to operate it properly. So the TARDIS lands and they check on the scanner to see where they are, and it's a really weird looking jungle. So they have no clue where they are. And the doctor says, right, well, before we go out exploring, let's clean ourselves up. And he asks Susan, what's the radiation meter reading? And she's like, it's reading normal, don't worry, it's fine. So they walk off and the meter changes to, yeah, I really hope you like radiation.
Please let us go. It's terrible in here.